Diamond C Fundamental for Success number 11, practice human connection. Be intentional in cultivating connections and relationships with the people around you. Be courageous enough to step out of your comfort zone. Be open and vulnerable so that others trust that they can do the same. Show people that you care about them as a person rather than just business. Ask them how they're doing and care for the answer. Genuine compassion can't be faked. So Jacob, thanks for joining me for a few minutes to discuss this fundamental. I've watched you do a really good job of practicing this one over the years with your team, with the team inside of Diamond C, all the people that you work with on a day-to-day basis. And furthermore, really through social media to kind of our community abroad, you somehow managed to connect with them in a very genuine way, with a very large, broad audience, actually. So I'm really curious to hear some of your perspective on this fundamental, how you have seen success with it and otherwise over the years. So for starters, from your experience, how would you say that practicing human connection can actually impact a person's growth or success?
So what I key in on first when you read the fundamental is when you speak of trust. Trust is huge. And between two individuals, or an individual in a group, or an individual in a worldwide audience of social, human connection is absolutely essential in building up a high level of trust. And when trust is present, and true trust, that's when progress happens. That's when success happens. Again, whether it's between two people in a relationship or business, in this case, we're talking a lot about business, but the same is true both ways. When you have trust, gosh, the sky's the limit.
Absolutely. I love that. Because that building block of trust as a function of human connection, that makes it strategic. And one of the things that sometimes drives me crazy about this fundamental is it's oftentimes I see people almost shrug it off as soft, fluffy, nice, feel good. Like the whole purpose of it is just to make friends. And while that is, I would say, important and critical to be a decent human being and
absolutely,
respect one another, it actually is so much deeper than just being friendly. It is absolutely connection of trust. So what would you say are the impacts or potential risks and roadblocks when human connection is missing? How have you seen that play out? How does it make someone's job harder when they don't have that human connection?
Well, just as I was talking about, human connection is essential to build up trust and a high level of trust. Exactly, that the inverse can happen if you're not intentional about establishing human connection between you and whoever. Trust diminishes. Mm-hmm. And so The Speed of Trust is a book that I read a little while back, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. And some of it's frustrating because it's so applicable, and anybody, you feel like it's common sense after you read it. But right. Stephen Covey says that when trust is low, the speed of doing business slows down and the cost goes up. The opposite is true, that when trust is high, efficiency grows, cost decreases, which accelerates progress. And again, this is in a business, talking in a business sense, but the same thing between two individuals or a team or what have you. The same thing is true. Human connection is absolutely necessary in that equation, because it's just a piece of the foundation of trust. I
love what you're saying as far as it applying to business and work, but also really all relationships in life, spouse, even kids, on the soccer field, sports, all those things. It really applies. So we get that it's strategic. That it's really important, strategic. It's a key to trust. Trust fuels progress. All that's understood. How do you actually do it? How do you actually do it when we have business to take care of, right? We have to handle business. Mm-hmm. We have to deliver results. We have to get things done. How do we do that with practicing human connection, with human connection at the forefront? You
have to first do a self-evaluation, because personalities are different. Mm-hmm. I'm different than you, it's different than other 730 people here. You have to first understand how you operate, because if you don't, you can't be mindful of others, I don't feel like, if you don't understand yourself. Mm-hmm. So stop, be intentional, sit down and think through, how do I operate? What are my tendencies? And then from there, who are the people around me? Who are the groups around me that I need to be intentional with, that I need to practice human connection with? Write them down. There's nothing wrong with, like, get a piece of paper out, scratch down those names, and then what do I need to be intentional with them about? Like, that individual person, what do I know about them? What would help me? What do I not know about them? What would help me establish human connection with them? And then for not to sound like a robot or to dehumanize it, but how can I systematize that, right? What are some areas that person, I can take them to coffee once every couple of weeks, or I can host a listening session with my group so that they can, I can get a better understanding of where they're at. But it's not to say that you can go into those and just, okay, we're here. What do you have to say? You have to go into it with full heart, open eyes, open ears, and listen to them.
Yeah.
Be in there and listen for the sake of understanding rather than responding.
Right.
So
genuine compassion.
Genuine compassion can't be faked. It says it right there in the fundamental, and it's 100% true. We all know, we've been in those positions where you look at the person talking and you're like, he doesn't even care. He's checked out. He's just checking the box. And so if you're going to do it, if you're going to spend your time's one of the most valuable things we have, right? Because it cannot be replaced. It's very, very costly to waste time. And so you go into it, and do you want to waste your time? You've done this research. You go into it, take the walls down, and go in wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I love that. Great advice. And that's our advice to everyone out there listening. In practicing human connection, be intentional to take inventory of your relationships, the relationships around you in your job, at home, in the community, where you go, and be intentional to systematize, if you need to, what you need to get done to make sure that you're building human connection, building trust. Trust is foundational for progress, and human connection is required to build solid, trusting relationships that will fuel your growth and success.